point of death, what happens afterwards?
Well, hello, friends, neighbors, and people of YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. Oh my gosh, it feels very weird to say that. I haven't been active on this channel in a very long time, and I can give you no excuse other than the fact that I simply ran out of time and content ideas. And I'm sorry that this intro is long, but this is the first video in the series, so just, you know, bear with me. If you want to skip this mumbo jumbo, just skip ahead a little bit to the good stuff, okay? I do work a full-time job, and I mean full-time. Plus, I also have my candle business, underworldconnection.com. For those of you who know that and order from me, thank you. And that takes up a lot of time as well. And I am sort of semi-active on my vlog channel, not so much lately, but that does keep me busy as well. So I've been very, 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 very busy in terms of just not having time to make a quality content type of video to put on this channel specifically. But here I am with a new series. I decided to actually make a go of it, and I think it's gonna be really, really fun. It's called Haunted Places and Coffee. I got the inspiration from these true crime YouTube channels, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, particularly Bailey Saren? I'm not really sure how you say her last name, I do apologize. But a lot of people actually recommended her channel to me, and I'm not really a fan of true crime, to be honest. It kind of gives me the willies, and I like to focus on happy things, and I know that that's a little bit of a strange thing to say considering what we're here for today. But I don't know, I just couldn't get into it, so major props for her for what she does. She's very good at it, and I know she's very entertaining, and she makes really good content for a lot of people. But when I was checking her out, I got a suggested video in my thing from this other YouTube channel, Danielle Kirsty. And I know she's not as well known as Bailey, but I really like her. Now, I don't know, something about the way she delivers her true crime stories, like she's got a very soft voice, she's very sweet and nice, and she's empathetic towards everything, and I don't know, it makes it tolerable for me to watch, and she's very enjoyable to watch, and I love watching her do her makeup while she's talking about the true crime and things, and if I get a little bit too creeped out, I can focus on the makeup, and it takes me to a happy place. So I do want to say that I was inspired, I'll say by both of them, to do something new, and I asked my viewers for opinions about what they wanted to see from me, and a lot of people were landing on like paranormal stories, which I loved. I love that idea so much. However, it is really hard to find paranormal stories to tell because if you look for them on the internet, people get upset when you like rip them off essentially to use in your YouTube video, and I don't want to do that. That makes me feel funny inside, and there's no way I could like write a bunch of them. I'm new. So what I came up with was haunted locations. You know, paranormal places where there's like a really juicy backstory with lots of like visitor encounters and experiences, and some places I visited myself and have my own experiences to include. So that is what I've decided to do for this new series. At long last, this far into the video, I'm long-winded, you know this, you were warned. And a lot of people were saying that along with whatever I'm telling, I should like make candles, right? Because I make the candles, and I did really like that idea. However, I am very crunched for time. I have about 2 to 3 hours pushing it max a week to do this for you. You're welcome. I really wanted to just do something that just cut to the chase, kept it simple for me as far as editing and production and preparation and all that stuff. Even doing my hair and makeup today kind of irritated me because it took like 20 minutes and I didn't like it. So yeah, that's why I'm not doing the makeup and thing, because everybody does it. I don't want to jump on a bandwagon. I'm not good at makeup. This took me 10 minutes. I just threw it together. You trust me, you don't want to see that process. And I can't do the candles because, God forbid, it just takes too long. Doing a candle takes too long, and it's just too much. I don't want to commit to something that I have energy for at the beginning and then burn out quickly and then abandon you guys again. I don't want to do that. I just don't. I want to stick around and keep this series going. I have plans to upload a new one of these videos every Friday. That's once a week. Every Friday. We'll see how that goes. So wish me luck and stick with me here. But one thing that I do like and enjoy and know a little bit something about is the bean brew. And that would be coffee. This thing is filled so far up today. I did not mean for it to get filled this far. It's a 1 cup Keurig, and it just kind of did its own thing. But anyway, so today I'm drinking medium roast Dunkin' Donuts ground coffee with some creme brulee creamer by Coffee Mate, I believe. Oh yes, it's good. And this is my Universal Studios monster mug. I had to sip the mug down just a little bit. So yeah, it's got the monsters on there and it says Universal Studios. I got it on my last trip to Universal Studios. I'm very excited about that. So all right, here we go. Today in Haunted Places and Coffee, we will be covering a place that I guarantee none of you have heard of. Yeah, I'm coming out the gate with a strong bat. Home run. All right, I really wanted to keep this spooky, but apparently I can't keep my personality out of these, so it's just gonna roll how it is. First episode, this is the pilot. Cut me some slack. So yeah, I guarantee that no one watching this video has ever heard of this place unless they grew up where I grew up. I'm sure none of my old classmates watch my videos, with the exception of maybe Holly. So if Holly watches this video, she's gonna know what I'm talking about. And on that note, hi Holly, I love you. So today we're gonna be talking about Panthers Hollow, and that is unclearly, not quite sure, located somewhere between Berlin, Ohio, Clark, Ohio, Kilbuck, Ohio, and Millersburg, Ohio. It's very strange. It's a lot of woodsy backcountry back in there. You don't really know where you're at when you're down in those little backcountry roads with like just trees around you. You don't know which county you've zigzagged into. It's confusing. So Panthers Hollow is this little tiny dirt road, like one lane road back into the woods. No one lives back there except for like all the way on the end, and it's just some Amish homes. So it's not like a residential backcountry road. It's just kind of like a random back road through the forest with nothing but trees and these big boulders that were deposited by glaciers way back in the day. And apparently it was at one time the only road through Holmes County, which I do find a little bit hard to believe because I've heard of the one road through Holmes County, and that was Port Washington. So I'm not sure how accurate that is, but that was what my research told me. So we're just gonna go with it because it makes it a little spookier. So it was the only road to go through Holmes County. So the legend of Panthers Hollow, we all kind of grew up with where I lived in Ohio, in that tiny little country, village, town, county, whatever you want to call it. We all heard various stories, so they all kind of mingled together over the years, and the most notable one is allegedly there was a witch who lived down in Panthers Hollow in a little cabin, and later allegedly also she was burned at the stake for practicing witchcraft, obviously. And this is allegedly also in the 1800s, by the way, so not very civilized back up in there yet. Not that it really is now, but you know what I mean. So legend has it that this witch placed a curse on the road, and anyone who came through, you know, would be cursed, haunted, killed, whatever, right? So you know how witches' curses are, they're kind of an umbrella term for you're gonna have a bad time. So also what's part of the story is that a traveling circus came up this road, this Panthers Hollow road, and a couple of the Panthers got loose from their circus brigade and went on like a, you know, a killing spree, as Panthers would when let out, especially ones in a circus, I think. So they escaped, killed a bunch of people, you know, lots of people are dead from this situation. You know, these Panthers are running around, hence the name Panthers Hollow. And there's also a story of a Civil War soldier who allegedly was found hanging from a tree back up there in the woods, and his body is supposedly buried underneath one of those massive boulders that I was talking about that's by the road. So a lot of stories, a lot of legend, a lot of history, a lot of activity, potential activity. And I mean, Panthers Hollow, I mean, this tiny little, it's dark. It's so dark back up in there. You know how it's just really always so dark in the woods, right? Well, Panthers Hollow is no exception. It is incredibly dark back up in there, even in the daylight, because there's just so much forest and there's nothing to break the trees because there's no houses or anything. It's just these tons and tons and tons of trees all around you, tiny, tiny little road, all these massive boulders just everywhere, and it's creepy. It's just a creepy place. It's incredibly creepy. So even if you go to Panthers Hollow and don't actually experience anything, it's still creepy. You will leave. You will leave feeling the willies, trust me. And it will definitely give you the willies when you're there, because there's just nothing there except trees and this freaking Crybaby bridge. We grew up hearing about Panthers Hollow as kids, you know, and of course it also has one of those catch-all Crybaby bridge stories, because there is a little bridge up in there and it's real hard to see. It's impossible to find unless you know exactly where you are going, because the road, the main county, if you want to call it a main road, the main county road just kind of goes by in a curve, and the entrance to Panthers Hollow is like this little hidden dip down off of this fork down over this little hill with like this little rickety stop sign. It's a very strange little spot. It's a very strange little entrance to a road that has seemingly no purpose at this point. So it's very hard to find unless you know exactly where it is, where you're going, what you're looking for. And I'm gonna come back to that in a minute. So you go down over this little hill, down into this little road, and there's this teeny tiny little bridge, right? It's a bridge, I mean, there's like a creek underneath it. It's not like a major roaring river or anything. It's just a small little bridge, you know, that a car can travel over top of, but it's just over a creek. Very small. Okay, so now I'm retelling what I know from what I learned in high school. You will not find this research on the internet. I guarantee it. I tried. So I'm just using my memory at this point. So the accompanying Crybaby bridge story. If you stop your car on that bridge before midnight and you turn it off and you let the car sit there turned off over the cusp of midnight, allegedly, it will not start back up. And also, of course, you supposedly hear a baby crying, you know, on the bridge. And I'm not sure what the story is that it's attached to that, but I did hear a variation of it, that one of the panthers that was, you know, chasing down these people and killing them, like the mom carried her baby and ran down to the creek, you know, to get away from the panther for safety. And of course, the panther killed them both. And that is why you can hear a baby crying on this bridge. So I do have a personal couple of stories to attach to this. One of them did not happen to me. It happened to a friend of mine, and she came back, and I trust this friend. I did. She was a very honest person. She wasn't like fantastic tale spinning type of person. Like, she was pretty honest and straightforward and grounded and intelligent and everything. So she came and she told me and a few other friends about her experience with Panthers Hollow when she went with a friend. So she told us that she went down to Panthers Hollow at night, like you're not supposed to, right? Before midnight, they took a tape recorder, because this was back in the 90s, okay? Before digital technology, smartphones, recording devices and whatnot. So one of those little handheld tape recorders. So she and one other friend went down there, stopped their car on the bridge before midnight, turned it off, because we all have to tempt fate when we're kids, right? We just have to find out for ourselves. They were recording on the tape recorder to see if they capture the baby crying sounds or really anything else that might be going on. So she and the friend got out of the car, opened the doors, right? Got out onto the bridge. They said that they didn't hear anything at the time. They felt a little bit creeped out. They didn't really see anything. They didn't really hear anything, but they were creeped out enough that they were like, they stood there for a while recording and just listening and waiting or whatever. And they were like, okay, let's get the heck out of here. So they get back in the car. Each of them gets back in, one in the driver's seat, one in the passenger seat. Each of them shuts the door, right? One, two door shuts, right? They go to start the car wouldn't start. Luckily, it only took them a few tries and a few minutes to actually get the car started, but true to legend, the car did not start back up right away after they left it sitting there on the bridge after midnight, after turning it off. So that part seemed to be true. The creepiest thing though was when they got home, played back the tape, and they heard the part where they both got back into the car. Remember I said each one of them shut the doors, so 2 doors shutting, right? On the tape, you hear a 3rd car door shut. So that's the story that I heard from my friend about her experience at Panthers Hollow. And my own stories, my goodness, I have been there several times in my youth because I was a rebellious little punk and I just had to dabble where I should never dabble. So I went down there several times as a teenager. I never went alone and I never went at night because, well, I'm not 7 shades of stupid. Mostly me and a friend, any given friend at any given time would just kind of go down there just to get some privacy and just be alone and just hang out and enjoy the forest and get away from the hubbub of the country. Okay, that sounds really stupid, but it was normally between high school and when high school ended and marching band practice because we had about an hour to kill and we would just drive down in there and just sort of chill and relax and just take a minute, you know, before we went back to marching band practice and had to have rigorous stuff going on for like 3 hours. But one year I did get it in my head that I'm like, you know what? On Halloween, no less, I want to go down to Panthers Hollow around midnight and try this out for myself. However, I did not want to go by myself. So I recruited my friend Josh and 2 of his friends whom I also knew, but they were mostly his friends, and I was driving. Okay, so at this point I'd been to Panthers Hollow a dozen times, if not more, you know, somewhere between 12 and 15 times, if not 20 times. I've been there. I know how to get there. I know where it is. Okay? No problem, right? Right, okay. Now before you all say that things look different in the dark, yes, that is very true. When you're trying to drive to a location that you've been to during the day, it is a little bit different at night. I will grant you that. However, this is the backcountry in Ohio. If you do not know your way around the same way at night as you do in the day, you would never be able to get anywhere. You memorize those country roads and all of those shortcuts and all of those curves and all of those turns and all of those landmarks. You just know them. They are ingrained. When you grow up in the country, day, night, it doesn't matter. If you know where you're going, you know where you're going. Doesn't matter. So I'm driving down there and I don't even know how to describe the intricate back road system that you have to take to get to Panthers Hollow. There's like 12 different ways to get there depending on which side of which county you're at. So I took the one that I was the most familiar with. I went from Millersburg back up this way and went this way. Now, like, let me tell you what, these backcountry roads split off in so many different forks. It's like tree branches. Like, you just have to know which one to take at any given time. It's crazy. So Josh is with me in the passenger seat. His 2 friends are in the back seat. We all have been to Panthers Hollow before, okay? I'm just gonna emphasize that right now. We all have. I think I was there the most, that's why, and it was my idea, so that's why I chose to drive. So it's about 11 o'clock at this point. I'm going, we should be there in like 15 minutes. I go the route that I know. I've done it a bunch. I get to a little 4-way intersection stop sign where these 2 backcountry roads intersect, and it's a 4-way stop, okay? It's the only 4-way stop probably in that whole vicinity, okay? And it's very specific because one part goes down over a hill, there's a big farmhouse on the corner here, and nothing else, just fields, okay? So you got the big dip and the farmhouse on the corner, fields, at this 4-way intersection that there isn't one of anywhere else. So we go there, and I'm like, okay, Josh, I'm pretty sure that I turn right here. Does that sound right to you? And he's like, yeah, I think that's how you get there. I think you're right. I'm like, okay, that's what I thought. Turn right. Go up this way. Don't see the thing for Panthers Hollow anywhere. I'm in kind of unfamiliar territory. I'm like, okay, this doesn't seem right, but I'm not sure. You know what I mean? We think we're going the right way, but again, it looks different in the dark, but we're pretty confident in our abilities to navigate these roads because we've done it so many times. So we keep going and keep going and keep going, and I am not kidding when I say I didn't turn around. I didn't make like 3 more or however many more turns of the same direction to get back to where I was. I did not do that. I have 3 witnesses to back me up on this. I did not turn around or recircle around in any way whatsoever. I know this. I should have been kept going and ended up like in one of the towns if I was going past it or going the wrong way or something. That's what should have happened. But what actually happened was somehow I ended up, after about 10 minutes, back at that same 4-way intersection we were just at. I could not figure that out because that had never happened to me before. Josh was really confused. He was like, how did we end up here when we went that way for like 10 minutes? It was like a total, this is the same log from the Blair Witch Project. Yeah, it was a total, this is the same log situation. It was weird. I was like, okay, maybe this time we'll go a different way. Clearly that was not the correct way. So this time I went straight. I'm like, maybe it's up this way and I just got turned around in the dark. I don't know. So I went straight this time. I'm going straight. Can't find Panthers Hollow for the life of me. I'm like, I know I'm on the right road. I know that this is where it is. I know. This should be correct. The last way should have been correct, but apparently it wasn't, so this has got to be it, right? 5-10 minutes later, I don't know the exact time, we ended up back at that same intersection. The same freaking intersection, and I didn't turn around, I didn't circle around, and Josh was just as confused as I was. We were like, what is going on? What in the Twilight Zone actual frick is this? And keep in mind, it's Halloween night. It's coming up on midnight right now. Okay, so we're already kind of freaking out. We just want to like kind of abandon this at this point because it's not worth it. And this situation is really creeping us out more than getting to Panthers Hollow and seeing what was going on down there, right? So I figured, you know what? We've devoted so much time to this already. Let's try one more time. We came from this way. We've tried that way. We've tried that way. Let's just try that way and see. Because I mean, to the best of our knowledge, we are not lost. This is our territory. This is our country, but we are just confused and discombobulated and can't figure this out at this point. So we try the final way that we haven't traversed yet. This has got to be it, right? We got to be able to find Panthers Hollow this way because apparently we're all a car full of stupid people who somehow forgot how to drive these roads that we've been on 100 times. All at once, all at the same time. So we try down this way. We're going. Can't find this little road. Can't find, like I told you, it is hard to find. It is hard to see unless you know exactly where it is. But again, we have a car full of people who are confident that they know exactly where it is, myself included. We're trying this other way now. We're going, looking for this thing. Can't find it. And I will bet you that you can guess where this is going. That's right. We ended up somehow back at that intersection. No idea. Absolutely no idea. There is no way that that was possible. Once, okay, maybe there were some curves in the road that we didn't anticipate. Twice, bordering on a little bit freakish here. 3 times in a row, no. Needless to say, we abandoned the entire excursion, okay, and we were like, screw this. Leah, take us home. This is weird. This is weird. We don't even care about Panthers Hollow at this point. What the heck? We don't know. I easily got us back to town. I found my way back to town very easily. So I wasn't lost. I knew where I was. I knew where to go. But finding Panthers Hollow that night just wasn't in the cards. And re-finding ourselves back at that same intersection despite going 3 different ways away from it, no idea. No idea what that was about. And it was the weirdest experience I have ever had with a haunted location in my life. We were near it though. I know we were near it. So I to this day, you know what? If I went back now and tried to find that intersection, I guarantee I wouldn't be able to find it. I have no clue what was going on that night. I don't know. I wonder if Josh remembers that. He probably does, because yeah, it was intense. So friends, that is the background of the haunted location Panthers Hollow in Berlin / Clark / Killbuck / Mellersburg, Ohio, in something like Holmes County, Doughty County. I don't really know. There's discrepancy. I'm sure that there is a definite answer for it somewhere, but I didn't find it, and being from the area myself, I don't even know the answer. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoy the idea of this series. Again, if you did not enjoy this video, give me a chance. The next ones will be better because I'm still figuring out how to do a video series like this. I've never done anything like this before. And if you did enjoy this video, then good. The next ones will be better as I figure out the kinks and get it all situated and stuff. So thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate all of your support and all of your suggestions towards making this series come to life. And I am planning on uploading every Friday. I hope I can stick to it. I'm gonna try my hardest, trust me. And if you guys have any suggestions of haunted locations that you know about and wanna share your personal experiences with them, yeah, leave them in the comments because I'm trying to build a good meaty list of these places. I've got a lot written down already that are probably a little more famous, but you know, I definitely wanted to start with one that was personal to me that I knew no one had ever heard of before, and you know, it's pretty cool. Oh, and side note, there is actually an escape room in Berlin called Panthers Hollow Escape Room, and it is named for that location because it's creepy and everyone who lives there knows about it. So I found that out in my research. I didn't previously know that, which is strange, but so there's that. So again, thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all. I hope you enjoyed this. Leave me your feedback in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Stay spooky, my friends.